boys and girls. Well, we read a book about the Arctic. Now we're going to go down to the Antarctic. Remember, Antarctica is land surrounded by water, and it's down at the South Pole. So now we're in the opposite area of the planet Earth. We're down in the South Pole learning about Antarctica. So let's go and look at an Antarctic habitat and find out some information about way down south. So this book is called The Antarctic Habitat. And already I can tell that although they look similar, there's something different about the Antarctic habitat. The Antarctic habitat. Right away, I see that table of contents again. So I know this is a non-fiction book and it's going to share some information with me, and I'll need to listen carefully for that information to help me out with my second assignment. What is a habitat? A habitat is a place in nature. Plants live in habitats. Animals live in habitats too. I see a different kind of bird here. Living and non-living. There are living things in habitats. Plants and animals are living things. And there are non-living things in habitats too. Rocks, water, and ice are non-living things. That's the same information from our Arctic book. Awesome. So something that is the same in there. Everything they need. Plants and animals need air, water, and food to stay alive. Plants and animals find everything they need in their habitats. This leopard seal needs water in its habitat. It finds food in the water. This bird is an albatross. It finds everything it needs in its habitat. The albatross finds fish to eat in its habitat. So here are two animals that need fish. So they're definitely going to need water in their habitat. The Antarctic. The Antarctic is a habitat. The Antarctic is at the very bottom of the Earth. It is very cold in the Antarctic. There is a lot of snow and ice in this habitat. The land in the Antarctic is called Antarctica. Some parts of Antarctica are flat. Other parts have tall mountains. Antarctica is almost always covered with snow and ice. So there's an interesting piece of information. Antarctica, being land surrounded by water, has some areas that are flat and some area that has mountains. The Southern Ocean. There is a very cold ocean in the Antarctic. It's called the Southern Ocean. Animals swim in this ocean. Ice floats on parts of this ocean. Some animals spend time on the ice. That was something that was the same about the Arctic. Huge chunks of ice float in the Southern Ocean. These chunks of ice are called icebergs. Wow, so the Southern Ocean has some icebergs in it. That's a neat piece of information. Antarctic weather. The weather in Antarctica is always cold. Freezing winds blow almost every day. The winds are strong. The wind is blowing snow on these penguins. So penguins live in the South Pole on Antarctica. You only find them down there in the Southern Hemisphere. Short summers. Antarctic summers are short. They last for only a few weeks. Some snow and ice melts in summer, but the weather is still cold. Another piece of information. And that was the same as the Arctic. They both have long winters and short summers. Antarctic plants. Let me guess. I'm thinking these plants grow low to the ground too. What do you guys think? The Antarctic is too cold for most plants. Only a few plants grow there. Antarctic plants grow only in the summer. They grow near the coast. Coasts are parts of land that are near oceans. This grass is growing near a coast. Huh. So in the Antarctic, plants grow near the coast. Good piece of information. Millions of tiny plants grow in the Southern Ocean. They float near the top of the water. These ocean plants are called phytoplankton. Wow, really teeny tiny plants. Plants make food. Living things need food to stay alive. Plants make their own food. They make food from sunlight, air, and water. Making food from sunlight, air, and water is called photosynthesis. Phytoplankton make food from sunlight and water. Phytoplankton float near the top of the water where sunlight can reach them. So there's the phytoplankton making its own food in the ocean. I wonder if there's anything that eats the phytoplankton. Let's find out. Look at the animals on these pages. They live in the Antarctic. Most Antarctic animals live in the Southern Ocean. Some animals leave the ocean and spend time on the ice or on the rocks. So an albatross, krill, Antarctic cod, Antarctic fur seal, king penguins, and an orca. Under the ice. Ooh, these look pretty scary. There is a lot of ice in the Southern Ocean. The water under the ice is cold and dark. Some animals live in the water under the ice. The animals that you see here live under the ice in the Southern Ocean. So now we know that there are animals that live under the ice. That's an interesting piece of information. So we have a squid, we have an octopus, we have a sea spider, sea stars, and some clams. Out of the water. Penguins and seals live in water. Sometimes they come out of the water to rest on ice or on rocks. They have babies on the ice or the rocks. These elephant seals are resting on a big rock. Baby penguins are called chicks. This mother penguin is watching over her two chicks. The chicks are resting on rocks. I don't think that would be very comfortable at all. But a good piece of information is that penguin chicks can be born on rocks. Animals must search to find food in the Antarctic. Some animals eat only plants. These animals are called herbivores. Krill are herbivores. They eat phytoplankton. Meat eaters. Some animals eat other animals. Animals that eat other animals are called carnivores. This orca is a carnivore. It eats fish, penguins, and seals. Wow, look at those sharp, pointy teeth. Eating both. Other Antarctic animals are omnivores. Omnivores eat both plants and other animals. This Antarctic isopod is an omnivore. It eats dead plants and animals and anything else that it can find. So that means it's a scavenger. It scavenges for food. So that was some interesting information. Getting energy. All living things need energy. They need energy to grow and to move. Energy comes from the sun. That's our first point. Plants get energy from the sun. Animals get energy by eating other living things. Krill are herbivores. They get energy by eating the phytoplankton. Many Antarctic animals eat krill. This leopard seal eats krill. It gets energy from the krill. So here we have our food chain as the energy passes from one thing to another, whether it be a plant or an animal. Antarctic animals must stay warm. Many animals have blubber under their skin. Blubber is thick layers of fat. Blubber helps keep those animals warm. This blue whale has thick blubber under its skin. Thick feathers. Antarctic birds have feathers. Their feathers are very thick. Feathers help keep birds warm. This albatross has thick feathers. Oh, so some animals use blubber and some use thick feathers. That's an interesting piece of information. Too cold. In winter, the Southern Ocean gets too cold for many Antarctic animals. Some animals must leave. They swim to warmer oceans in the winter. This fin whale is swimming to a warmer ocean. So now I learned that fin whales migrate to warmer weather, warmer oceans. And here's some words to know in an index of where I would find those words. So, we learned some information about the Antarctic habitat. I learned that penguins live in the southern hemisphere. I learned that plants grow low to the ground in Antarctica, but they also grow near the coast. They don't grow in further in. And I learned that there are animals that live under the dark ice. What did you learn? What information can you share in your journal? All right, scientists, think about it and share it.